Hello, everybody. This is Angelique, and I'm here with my dear friend Daniel. I met Daniel when Dr. Joe was still organizing small, mini progressive workshops. And small meaning is like 200 people. He was sitting next to me in Lisbon, and he was introduced to me by another dear friend. And ever since then, we became, mastermind buddies, and we were always masterminding, sharing insights, techniques, new learnings, new books, and um, and and what we had in common is a combination of corporate background plus spirituality. So we would always use our spirituality to actually achieve things also in the corporate life. But it was always a bit in the closet, if you know what I mean. So because, so now I feel that we are seeing that we can combine these two worlds. And this is why I think we're both more stepping out and the world is ready for it. And this is why I'm committed to doing the money constellations and healing work. And thinking about the money constellations work that I've been doing, I was reminded of a time when I was working with Daniel, doing a pure experiment, where he called me when I was in Hong Kong, and we were discussing that he really wanted to manifest a role. Of course, at the time he was like beautifully single as well. And could you tell us what happened? I was in Hong Kong at a Zoom, here in London.
Yeah, so I was here in London. I was feeling a bit stuck because I've been trying to get a role for some time.
For quite some time,
yeah,
I felt.
Yes, so it felt like it had been a while. And I think I was running out of money and kind of wanted to basically manifest something quickly. And I've done, like I was doing my meditations and nothing was working. So I gave you a call to really just help me. And I didn't even know what we were going to do, because it was it was more to have a conversation about helping to manifest something. And then he ended up doing a constellation. And it was great because in that constellation, it's funny. So when we started constellation, there was a phone call, but which I couldn't answer. So I waited till the end after he finished. And it was great. So what came out of it was, and actually I don't even remember what came out of it. All I remember was something about our highest excitement, and then just feeling all the parts, like the creativity that was missing, and the need to be more ordering. But essentially all those aspects spoke together, and then there was an integration, and I felt a lot more powerful after that session. So after the session we finished, I had an answer machine message, and I picked it up, and it was a recruiter. So in that so I basically got this role, which was a great role. So it was like an M&A, working on M&A deal in data analytics, which was pretty cool and something I hadn't done before. So that was really good. And then in the same week, so it wasn't even just that job. In the same week, I met someone on Tinder, and then we were in a relationship. So that was like
long-term,
it was like 4 years,
relationship.
actually, 4-year relationship. So it was great. It was kind of nothing was happening in that week. Everything transformed. So it was a really brilliant, brilliant work, brilliant constellation.
So what I remember is normally when we do constellations work, we don't set intentions, but because I'm so trained in working with intention and determining the direction where we're going together with the client, I cannot do a constellation without intention. But I know probably I asked you to set an intention for what you wanted, and probably you did that. And even before the constellation, while you were writing your intention, I know you received a phone call. And then we did the constellation. We didn't know it was a recruiter, because we would have been like, oh my gosh. But it was like, oh, somebody is calling. No, this is more important. But it was, and what I noticed is when I do this work, which specifically manifesting job or projects, that people that get stuck, when they get very clear, when they really feel the desire without stuckness, then the outer world feels it too. So I have other testimonies of other people who've done the same thing. But when you're not clear, when you're wishy-washy, when you have resistance to actually be in a project or be in a job, then of course it's not powerful. And then the constellation can lead to something else. So yeah, what is your experience of using constellations just in general, and how it could provide clarity? Because you do a lot of archetypal work. You're almost doing archetypal constellations, but constellations is so broad, like you could bring in anything like money or your clients, etc.
Yeah, so because I do other intuitive readings as well. So with the constellations, it always finds things that you haven't considered. And because it's blind, as in you don't know what's going to be revealed, I think that you get to observe without any bias. And it's also always bespoke to the issue holder. So that's a great thing. So whatever you're dealing with. So the ones we worked on for me recently, like the archetypes came in, but then when I was in someone else's conversation, the archetypes were not there. So what I love is very specific to the person who's receiving the constellation. So that's what I like about it. And it's interesting because I received similar messages before, but this was like a real completeness of the issue, and it really helped me to understand it from another way, because sometimes you need to hear the same intuitive piece of like a couple of times from different shifts and different angles that you really get it. So that's what I liked about it. Very powerful.
So thank you, Daniel, and I would love to hear the feedback of how you are integrating this download from the field about the archetypes for your work as well. So thank you, everybody.